The Dodgers have a chance to close the door tonight, and they're doing it with the guy they trust the most on the mound, Yoshinobu Yamamoto. And on the other side, the Phillies are throwing Aaron Nola. Yep, it's do or die for Philly, and that's who they're banking on. Nola's a vet, no doubt, but if you're the Dodgers, you have to be licking your chops. Los Angeles has seen this guy, and not that long ago. And when they did, it wasn't pretty for him. 7 hits, 3 runs, 2 homers, and only 2 strikeouts. That's what LA did to him the last time. Even more telling, the Dodgers have won 7 of their last 8 games when facing Nola. And get this, he's the first righty the Dodgers are seeing in this series. That might actually be great news for the lineup, because when lefties are on the mound, the Dodgers have been holding off on using Will Smith and Max Muncy early in games. Both guys clearly aren't at 100%, and against Southpaws, LA has had the luxury of keeping them on the bench for the first few innings. But now, with Nola on the hill, it's likely both are in the starting lineup from a jump. That could shift the whole dynamic. The Phillies might be trying to get clever here. Maybe start with Nola, get the Dodgers to burn through their top righty bats, and then sneak Ranger Suarez in from the pen. But that strategy can backfire fast. If the Dodgers jump on Nola early, and all signs say they can, that whole plan falls apart. And honestly, Nola hasn't exactly looked like a stopper this season. Over 17 starts, he went 5-10 with an ERA over 6. That's not the kind of arm you want trying to silence this Dodgers lineup with their season on the line. And while Philly is trying to outthink the matchups, the Dodgers are going straight power. Yamamoto is getting the ball, and this is the kind of game that's made for him. 30 starts in the regular season, and in 21 of those, he gave up 2 earned runs or fewer. That's elite. That's exactly what you want when trying to send a team home for the winter. Sure, the win-loss record doesn't tell the full story. 12 wins, 8 losses, but anybody who's been watching knows the lack of run support was the real issue. Yamamoto has been nails all year. His ERA is under 2.5, his WHIP is under 1, and even on his off days, he still looks better than most starters on their best. If the Dodgers can give him just 4 or 5 runs, you have to feel good about their chances. And when you think about this rotation, Yamamoto, Snell, Ohtani, there's no shortage of big arms. But Yamamoto just might be the most dependable. The guy doesn't flinch, doesn't get rattled, and that's why he's out there with the ball tonight. You want your ace in a clinch game. That's how the great teams do it. Let the guy with the best stuff go out there and shove. Now, maybe he doesn't go 8 innings. 7 would be a dream. 6 would still be solid. But just getting deep into this one gives the Dodgers bullpen a manageable job. And speaking of the bullpen, that's where things get spicy. Because while Yamamoto's holding it down to start, the back end of the game might be up to a rookie who's showing the world he was built for October. Roki Sasaki might have dropped the coldest line of the postseason so far. After getting heckled nonstop by Philly fans, someone asked him about it. His answer? I don't understand English, so I have no idea what they're saying. It doesn't bother me. That's not just funny. That's ice cold. That's exactly the kind of attitude you want from your closer. He doesn't hear the noise, literally, and just locks in on getting outs. For a guy pitching in his first MLB postseason, he's been ridiculously composed. And here's the thing, the numbers back it up. Since coming back from the minors and getting retooled, Sasaki has become a strike-throwing machine. Before, he was living below league average in strike percentage. Since returning, nearly 88% of his pitches have been strikes. That's absurd. That's give me the ball in the 9th energy. And you can see it when he's out there. He's not just throwing, he's attacking. That confidence, that aggression, that swagger, it's everything you want in a late-inning arm. And maybe the craziest part is how little big league action he's actually seen. From May to late September, he didn't touch a major league mound. And yet here he is, locking down games in October like he's been doing it for years. The Dodgers have already said he's their primary closer. The only real question is whether he can handle back-to-back days, or even 2 games in 3 days. So far, the team's been cautious. But with the way the schedule is set up, built-in off days after games 1 and 2, the timing has worked perfectly. Game 3 could be different. If the Dodgers don't finish things tonight, then they'll have to think hard about whether Sasaki can go again in Game 4. Still, if they slam the door tonight, that conversation can wait. The trust in Sasaki is growing fast, and for good reason. The confidence, the body language, the fearlessness, it's all there. But this bullpen still has its question marks. Blake Trinan, Tanner Scott, and a few others have been shaky at best. And fans are feeling it. Some are downright furious, especially after recent decisions. Remember Game 2 in Philly? Even though the Dodgers won, the big story afterward was Dave Roberts bringing in Blake Trinan during a tight spot. That one move set off alarms. It wasn't just about the runs, it was the risk. Why go to a guy who's been inconsistent when you have other options? Some fans think it was an attempt to test the waters, see if Trinan could handle the pressure before the next round. But October isn't the time for additions. Not when every pitch could be the difference between winning the series or flying home. And then there's the wild card in all of this. If not Sasaki, then who do you trust in the ninth with a 1 or 2 run lead? There's one name that keeps getting brought up, and it's not a reliever. It's Clayton Kershaw. Yeah, seriously. And not because of sentiment. Because of skill. Kershaw doesn't walk guys. You have to beat him with a bat. That means 4 or 5 hits to put up a crooked number. And that's not easy, even if he's not throwing gas anymore. In high-leverage spots, that kind of control matters. The bullpen is filled with flamethrowers who miss bats, but they also miss the zone. Kershaw might just be the steady hand they need if Sasaki isn't available. Because make no mistake, the one thing standing between the Dodgers and a deep postseason run is the bullpen. If they win it all, it'll be because guys like Sasaki and maybe Kershaw stepped up when it mattered most. And speaking of stepping up, the decision to possibly use Glasnow in a relief role is still on the table. If the Dodgers get a lead in Yamamoto's night ends early, they could throw Glasnow in for 2 innings just to shut the whole thing down, especially with an off day coming up. That kind of move might seem unconventional, but this is the playoffs. There's no saving arms when you can end a series. And it's not like Glasnow would be used in the next series right away anyway. You want him available for the middle games. That opens the door to use him in an emergency now, a fireman role, a stopper if things start slipping. And that's the beauty of what the Dodgers have right now. Flexibility, a deep bench, power arms, and a young closer who's got nerves of steel and doesn't even know when people are chirping at him from the stands. The Dodgers are set up for success tonight. They've got their ace on the mound, their lineup clicking, and a chance to finish this series at home. The Phillies are dangerous, no doubt. Bryce Harper, Tree Turner, Schwarber. Those guys can flip a game with one swing. But the Dodgers have the upper hand. Now they just need to press it. No mercy. No letting up. This is the game to stomp out any hope Philly has left. The pressure tonight isn't just on the mound or in the batter's box. It's also in the dugout. Every decision Dave Roberts makes will be under the microscope, especially after what happened in Game 2. Even in victory, there was second-guessing. Fans weren't thrilled with Blake Trinan taking the ball in the 8th inning of a tight playoff game. And look, it's easy to point fingers, especially when the bullpen has had its fair share of meltdowns over the past couple of months. But when you're holding a lead in October, every arm that comes out of that gate better be locked in. There's no room for hesitation, no margin for error, and absolutely no tolerance for shaky command. That's why Sasaki has become so valuable so quickly, because unlike some of the more experienced names out there, he's not pitching scared. He's attacking. And if he can't go tonight, the Dodgers will need someone else to step into that role. But who? Bija? Scott? Trinan again? Those names don't exactly inspire confidence right now. That's why the Kershaw option has been floated, because if the Dodgers need someone to just pound the zone and make the hitters earn every single base, there's no one more reliable in terms of command. Yes, he's not the fireballer he once was, but that's not the point. The point is, in a tight game, you want a guy who's going to challenge hitters and not hand out free passes. Kershaw, even in this new role, could be a weapon. And considering how postseason games tend to tighten in the later innings, it's all about trust. Trust in the moment. Trust in the arm. Trust in the poise. That's something not every guy in this bullpen has earned. Now, there's also a wild scenario that's starting to gain traction among fans, and that's using Tyler Glasnow as a high-leverage reliever in a clinching game. Normally, you'd never think of taking a starter and tossing him into the bullpen, but again, this is the postseason. It's not about what's normal. It's about what wins games. And if you've got a lead and you don't want to mess around, using Glasnow for 2 innings could absolutely be on the table, especially with the extra rest built into the schedule before the National League Championship Series. He wouldn't be starting one of those early games anyway. So why not use him tonight if the moment calls for it? This is the time to be aggressive. And speaking of aggression, the Dodgers offense needs to show some of it early against Nola. No more waiting until the 6th or 7th inning to put pressure on the starter. This is the game to come out swinging, take the crowd out of it, and force the Phillies to play catch-up. Because once Philly gets into their bullpen, it becomes a different kind of game. One where matchups start dictating everything, and where mistakes get amplified. The longer you let them hang around, the more dangerous they get. So if Nola is on the ropes in the 1st or 2nd inning, the Dodgers need to pounce. That's the difference between ending the series cleanly and letting it spiral into Game 4 or worse. And we can't talk about pressure without circling back to Roki Sasaki. This guy has quickly become the story of the Dodgers' postseason run. And it's not just the numbers, it's the attitude, the swagger, the composure. That quote about not understanding English, that's the kind of mentality you dream of in October. Imagine getting screamed at by 40,000 hostile fans and brushing it off because you literally don't know what they're saying. That's not just funny, it's brilliant. It's a competitive advantage. Because now, no matter where the Dodgers play, no matter how loud it gets, Roki's in his own world. Just him and the batter. And he's been laser-focused. That kind of poise is rare for a rookie, especially one who spent most of the season off the mound. He didn't pitch in the big leagues from early May until late September. Yet here he is, closing out games with the confidence of a veteran. And the Dodgers staff has already said it. He's their guy. The only issue is workload. Can he handle back-to-back outings? So far, they haven't tested it. But if he keeps getting the job done with short, efficient appearances, they might have no choice but to trust him with heavier usage. And honestly, based on what we've seen, he's probably ready. 2 pitches, 3 pitches, whatever it takes. He just looks in control. And if there's one thing this postseason has shown us, it's that the most important trait in a reliever isn't velocity, it's composure. But before we move forward, don't forget to join our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep delivering the latest news about the Los Angeles Dodgers. We'd love to hear your thoughts on the news, so drop a comment below. The baseball world is buzzing with shock and excitement this morning as whispers turn into what could be the most talked about offseason move in recent memory. Julio Rodriguez, the dazzling Seattle phenom, has reportedly agreed to join the Los Angeles Dodgers. The news, initially hinted at through cryptic social media posts and insider chatter, has now spread like wildfire, sending fans and analysts into a frenzy of speculation. Rodriguez, often hailed as the future face of Major League Baseball, has been synonymous with the Mariners since bursting onto the scene. His combination of speed, power, and fielding wizardry made him an icon in Seattle, and his sudden departure leaves a gaping hole in the Mariners' lineup. While the financial details remain unconfirmed, sources suggest the Dodgers pulled out all the stops, offering a package and contract that would make even the most hardened GMs take notice. Insiders say the move is as much about strategy as it is about star power. The Dodgers, ever hungry for another championship run, see Rodriguez as the missing piece to solidify their outfield and electrify their fan base. LA has a storied history of attracting big names, and Rodriguez's arrival could mark the start of yet another golden era in Dodger Stadium. Meanwhile, the Mariners are left in a whirlwind of speculation about their next steps. Will they look internally to fill the void, or will they swing for another marquee name? Fans are already imagining Rodriguez donning the Dodgers' iconic blue, his signature bat poised for yet another highlight reel home run. Meanwhile, Mariners supporters are torn between heartbreak and admiration, acknowledging that some moves in sports are simply too big to resist. One thing is certain: wherever Julio lands, he brings a spark, a storyline, and a magnetic energy that will dominate headlines for months to come. While no official announcements have been made, and both franchises are keeping lips sealed for the moment, the rumor mill is running at full speed. Analysts are already projecting the ripple effects across the league, debating how this move could reshape playoff dynamics and the balance of power in the American and National Leagues. If true, Julio Rodriguez to the Dodgers won't just be a trade. It will be a seismic shift, one that fans will talk about for years. That's all for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay up to date with exclusive news about the Los Angeles Dodgers, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. We always appreciate your comments and feedback. See you in the next video.